What is going on, everybody? It is the Walkthrough King, and here we have a Easter egg guide over the Terminus map in Black Ops 6 Zombies. This is a quick and easy guide. Before we get into that, if you are new to the channel, why not join the community and subscribe? As well as a like on this video would be appreciated. So let's jump straight into this. You are going to need to turn on the power and follow all the guided steps from when you first spawn into the map, as well as you are going to need the wonder weapon before you can start the first step of this. To get the wonder weapon, you could get it out of the box, or there's also a free one that you can craft. I will have a text guide in the description on the free one. So getting right into the first step, there are multiple tentacle traps around the map, and we need to go to one and then shoot the wonder weapon up into it and see if a hard drive falls out of it to complete step one. One tentacle trap location is right next to Jug. Another location is heading from the mines into the labs, and there's another tentacle trap location going from the biolabs to that swamp-like place, the alternate route that you could take to Pack-a-Punch. And as you see, for my game, that is the one that dropped it. It could be any of them, though. It is randomized each game. Once you do get the hard drive, go ahead and take that back up to the security room and give that to Peck to complete the next step. Next, you're going to go down into the biolabs and then hold the action button on this window on the main chamber here. It will now open up and reveal Nathan inside, to which we will then need to get a code to be able to open this up fully. The code that we need to get is a 3-digit code with each digit in a different area of the map. I'll show you all three in the order that the code is. The first digit can be found in the quick revive room. Behind this cage, there's a clock on the wall, and whatever the hour hand is pointing to, that is the first digit. It is random each game, but for mine, you can see it was an 8, so my first digit was 8. For the second digit, there's a poker card that is on the wall in the mess hall, and whatever that card is, that should be your second digit. And the third digit is over in the engineering room, the sign that says this many days since last incident. Whatever the amount of days is, that is your digit, so you can see mine was 2 for this one. Once you have all three of your digits, go ahead and input that code into that main chamber to complete this step. Now for this next step, it is a mini boss fight, so you are going to want to be pretty prepared to go into this. Make sure to have your guns pack-a-punched, and also I believe dead wire does extra damage to this boss, so it would be a good idea to go in with dead wire. Once you and everybody on your team is ready to go into this boss fight, there are 4 valves around that main chamber. You will need to have all 4 players activate each valve at the exact same time, so all 4 valves turn at the same time, so 1 person to each valve, and then it will activate the boss fight. This boss, Nathan, is a huge bullet sponge, so just be aware of that. He takes a lot of damage, but just go ahead and take him out, and then you'll see a short cutscene and can move on to the next step. After the cutscene is done, go ahead and jump in the water and grab and look for a key card. It is Nathan's key card. You're going to need this for later. Next, you need to go into the communications room, and there's a computer that you have to go and interact with. Once you do interact with it, it'll change the text on it, so you know you've completed this step. Next, you're going to make your way out to the boat that is half sunken outside of the map, and go to the side of it, and you'll notice there's an area that you can get underneath it with a ladder that you can climb. Go ahead and climb up that ladder, and a hatch will then open for you, revealing a secret room. Be prepared, as once you do this step in this room, you'll have to survive for a bit of time in there, so make sure you have good stuff to survive. Once you're ready for the step, pick up the canisters that are on the table. It will then lock you in there, so you have to survive for a bit of time. And once you do that and the door is open to leave again, you're going to want to take one of the canisters to the sea caves, where you'll notice there is a cable that is missing a link piece, and all you have to do is put that one canister there, and the second canister will go under the sea tower over here in this corner where there's this cable. After having placed both of the canisters in the cable spots, head back up to the security room and talk to Peck, and he will then give you a hacking device. You will then need to get a boat and go outside in the water again and head out to where these buoys are, and you'll now be able to go and interact with it and start hacking them. There are 3 different buoys that you need to hack, and you have to do this within the time limit. I'll show you what it looks like when we hacked all 3 of them. And then immediately after you hack all 3 of the buoys that are out in the water, you're going to want to immediately head back to the biolab, as there are 3 bombs now that are activated that you need to defuse. I'm not sure what happens if you don't defuse them in time. I'm assuming it just kills everybody or it ends the game. I always defuse them before the time ran out, so I'm curious if anybody hasn't. Let me know what happens. These are the locations of the 3 bombs. All you gotta do is rush back to the biolabs, go up to the bomb, and then interact with it to defuse it. There are 2 doors that could be found down below that each have a bomb in it, like you can see from this gameplay. So there are 2 down below, and then the third one can be found above in that same area. Once you have defused all 3, you are ready for the final boss fight. And this boss fight is a pretty tough one against a huge, massive bullet sponge. So make sure you are really prepared going into this boss fight. fight, I recommend PAP 3 on your weapons. As well as Deadwire is really good in this boss fight too, as there are certain parts of the boss fight where Deadwire does increase damage to the boss and some of the other enemies, so just keep that in mind. When you are ready to enter the boss fight, you'll see this new room that is now unlocked to go into in the biolabs. Just go and interact with that. A short cutscene will then play, and it'll send you straight into the boss fight. For this boss fight, there are 3 phases with constant spawning enemies around you on the docks outside. You can jump in the water, so keep that in mind. So if you need to do a quick water escape, go ahead and jump into the water. There is a bunch of ladders that you could use to climb back up all over this platform. And then as well as the constant spawning enemies and the main boss himself attacking, there are tentacles around the outskirts of the map that also attack you. And you can get rid of these as well if they get too annoying. Whenever they light up yellow, just go ahead and shoot them, and then you can send them away. Now onto the boss himself. Like I said, there are 3 phases, and he has a lot of health and is a huge bullet sponge. But for the first wave, he will just keep moving around and then doing a slam attack. And you can damage him, but it won't be too much damage just by shooting him normally. The way to really damage him is on his shoulders. You'll see these red pods that pop up, and you just want to shoot those, and they will do critical damage to him. Over time, after you do enough of this damage, he will then move into phase 2. For phase 2, he now looks like he has molten lava coming out of him almost, and his attacks are even more powerful. The way to kill him is, as you've seen on his mouth, he has a giant glowing critical hit point that does a massive amount of damage, so make sure you focus on that when you're attacking him. There will still be a ton of enemy spawns around the map, and then the toxic gas will even start appearing around you on the dock to make it even more hard. But just go ahead and keep focusing on his mouth, and eventually, after doing that for so long, he will have 2 different focus points on his tentacles as well above him, and you're gonna have to damage those enough to the point where they will each both stop being glowing points that you could shoot. And then once again, after damaging him so much, you will then move into the final phase with phase 3. Once the boss returns for phase 3, he basically latches on to the front area, forcing the fight to be more claustrophobic and there to be less area to run around in. And he also kind of turns it into an icy area, as he's kind of frozen now. The critical and weak points for this phase are the blue glowing eyes that you see every so often when he does attacks that are just above him. However, keep in mind with this phase, he also does a kind of a spirit bomb attack where he charges up an orb and then slams it down. This orb is basically a one-hit, so you really do not want to get hit by this or be in the area where it goes through. If you are underwater when he does that attack, it does not damage you, so keep that in mind. During this phase, there are even more HVT enemies that spawn in. There are multiple panzers sometimes, multiple of those arm-looking dudes, so it is extremely rough on this phase. So like I said earlier, you really want to be prepared going into this boss fight. There isn't really much that you can grab in this boss area. However, if you do need some ammo, there is an ammo crate that you could get ammo from. But once you deal enough damage to this boss on this final phase, you will have defeated him then. Congratulations, you have beat the Terminus Easter Egg, and you now get rewarded with that Easter Egg ending cutscene. I hope this guide helped you guys out. If it did, a like would be appreciated, as well as if you guys are new to the channel, why not subscribe? I'll be posting a lot more Black Ops 6 content coming soon, like guides going over all of the intel, the storyline, and the lore of this. For the rest of this video, I'm going to play out that Easter Egg ending cutscene, so if you don't want to see it, this is your warning, and I'll see you guys at the next one.
Well done. That looked exhausting.
Whatever happens next, sucks it won't include a hot shower.
Today must have been very difficult for you, Pack. Humiliating, even. But at least we eliminated that monster, and Modi. Gather in the guard station. I have a proposal that I believe may interest you.
Okay, Sam. Whatever your plan is for bringing back Maxis, it better be good.
It is. I have scraped all Project Janus files classified Director's Eyes only. Richtofen is obsessed with an ancient relic called the Sentinel Artifact. He believes it has the ability to manipulate a form of protomatter called prima materia.
You can't be serious. The term comes straight from medieval alchemy. Don't ask me to believe such horseshit. I am a man of science.
As is Director Richtofen, Dr. Strauss. The artifact is believed to be somewhere in the Principality of Avalon. He He hired a criminal organization, the French Syndicate, to find it. They are interrogating a man called Gabriel Kraft. Your former associate, Sergei Ravenov, now employed by the Syndicate, abducted him on the orders of his boss, Franco.
I'm in.
Enjoy your revenge, young lady. I'm not chasing after an old wives' tale.
Oscar, we've all seen things that seemed impossible. And Richtofen is no fool. If he and Sam believe that this artifact can actually bring her back, we have to try. We can't give up on her. She never gave up on us.
She's right. Let's see for ourselves if this Sentinel thing is the real deal.
Agreed. But I still want to know where that bastard Richtofen is hiding.
Unknown. He may be en route to Avalon to collect the artifact.
Then let's find it before he does.
Heads up, people. Helo's ready. But the storm's getting worse. We gotta go, now!